What's up, guys? Welcome back to Rebuilt Racing. You can see it right there. It is, let's see, it's 10:15 at night. I'm like 5 monsters deep. I got some energy right now. Welcome back. So, I'm kind of creating this little series. I don't know if it's going to be a one-off thing right today or if I'm going to make this an actual series. Well, I want to kind of call it like an Into the Garage type thing, right? So pretty much what it's going to end up being is sort of a project update and a project insight on what's going on behind the scenes and everything, and just keeping you all updated on what's going on between the big videos I'm publishing. So the big thing that's holding me back right now is I've been sitting on some videos since friggin' October, and it's almost February. But the thing is that I'm currently recording with my phone, and I don't have anything good to edit on. So I've been editing on my phone as well, so it's pretty scuffed situation right now. So hopefully I do plan on getting a GoPro here soon and a decent-ish laptop so I can hand something. I don't know, something like that. Simply so I can get this video to get them out and hopefully start getting more videos out and build this up into something professional. But pretty much as far as the projects go, I'm going to start off with my collab with Marino Motorsports. So Mr. Marino, our plan there is to run Buckshot Speedway down in Clanton, Alabama. You see me do a few videos there as just a spectator, but I am working as a mechanic for Marino Motorsports now. So I do plan to have a more involved role in the actual racing itself and potentially even become a racer myself there. But we will see where that goes. So over here, we currently got a couple parts for our Mazda Protege race car. You've seen it featured on this channel before in some shorts. So as far as that car goes, we are working on it. I'm not going to tell you specifically what we're working on because it's still kind of in the progress right now on what exactly needs to be done with it and what exactly is being done with it. But I may end up making a long form on that at some point, but that's not guaranteed. So we currently have that one sitting in the background right now. It's not really getting focused on as much right now because we have recently gone out and purchased a 1995 Saturn SL1. No, SL2, excuse me, twin cam. Yeah, so it has a blown motor, and the guy we bought it from did have a spare motor sitting around for us to swap into it. So hopefully we can get that swapped soon, and that will end up being our primary car while the Mazda will be our backup car. Now eventually later in the season, we may end up running both of those cars, and we may be running a 2-car season, which would be nice. It will guarantee us more points and get the Marino Motorsports and the Rebuilt Racing name out there more. So that may happen, may not. That's not guaranteed. It's just a thought in the works right now. Not guaranteed. So over here we have a steering column for a 97 F-150 that I just finished rebuilding. That one probably won't end up being videos on, but that is in progress as our tow truck for our race cars for Marino Motorsports. And that's just something in the works. That's something in the background. So going back to us here at Rebuilt Racing and our primary stuff going on. So as you know, our primary car here is Cosworth 1995 Mazda B2300. So as far as what's gone on with it recently, I have put on just recently, I mean just like a week ago, new rear drum hardware, new drum shoes, front rotors, front wheel bearings, front pads, new shocks, and then I've got on the way new coil springs and new tie rod boots, and then hopefully I can finally get an alignment afterwards because kind of had like, old 90s truck gearbox steering, pretty much like stick drift on a controller. And the alignment's off for some reason because whenever I'm going down the road instead of it holding straight like this, it kind of drives like that. Been driving me crazy. I need to get it fixed. Soon though, soon. So probably not going to be videos on that either. Probably not, but that's just keeping you to know, okay? So back here I have some more parts for it that I just ordered. These are already here. So if you're familiar with your 90s and I believe 80s Fords as well, and pretty much anything past then, you'll know that as far as the oil pressure gauge goes, it's not really a gauge. It's more of a switch, just a dummy light. It just tells you whether you have oil pressure on or not. So it just turns on when you have oil pressure, turns on when you don't have oil pressure, and it's kind of just a set threshold. It doesn't really work as a gauge. It has no variability to it. So what you can do to it to alleviate that is this works on, I know, all 95 to 03 Rangers and pretty much like any Ford of that generation as well, I do believe. But I don't know anything older or newer than that because that's not really outside of my year range there. Kind of 90s and early 2000s is what I specialize in, right? But give me this whole box or this little part. But what you can do is you can swap that switched oil pressure unit for a variable oil pressure unit. And this is off a much older Ford. And this should work on any of your Ranger motors, I do believe. Except for maybe the later 2.3s, the Durtec ones instead of the Limas. But as I said, this converts your switched oil pressure gauge to a variable oil pressure gauge where you can actually how much oil pressure you have. And the only thing you have to do to make this work is just bolt this in to your existing switch, where your existing switch goes. And also you got to take out the gauge cluster, and behind the oil pressure gauge, there's a little resistor on the gauge cluster. And all you got to do is just solder a wire between it and bypass that resistor, and you have a functioning oil pressure gauge. Lovely, in it. Imagine Ford couldn't do that. It cost them like 25 cents to save this part. Amazing, isn't it? Got some coil spring isolators, some new lights from a gauge cluster, just stuff that's going in while I already have some of this stuff apart. And then as far as the square body goes, the 92, got a receiver hitch here for it going on. I got it sanded down. You can see where it's kind of shiny up in this area. So I'm working on sanding that down, getting it nice and clean to where I can get it painted and get it thrown on a truck. Might have some really special stuff coming for that truck soon. Not guaranteed in the works on that either. But there will be a video on that if I do end up getting that ball rolling on that a little bit. So, as I don't think I got much more going on square body other than that receiver hitch that's guaranteed. I do need to get it registered and get it on the road as soon as I get some new tires. So, let's see, what else do we got? We got the Mustang, my 01 Mustang V6. I'm not really sure where that project is going or if it will stick around. I'm maybe getting it for something new, maybe selling it, or maybe keeping it. Who knows? I really don't know myself. My mind changed on that car every day. It's been a little bit rough. But yeah, I've got some new parts for it sitting in my part storage up there. So might get videos on getting those parts installed. And I might maybe buying a parts car for it because that parts car has some special bits that my car doesn't, and I want to swap them over. That's not guaranteed to be in the works either. I really do hope it is, because if I do get that parts car, then that means that my Mustang will be sticking around. But if I don't get that parts car, then it probably won't. But that's where that is. And as far as the Lexus goes, that one's going to be on the back burner for a hot minute more just because it's a little too pricey to fix. And these other things are a little bit more pressing at the moment, you feel? So that's just where we're at on that. So let's see, I've covered Merino Motorsports, my Mazda B2300, square body, Mustang, Lex. What else do we got? Oh yeah, I forgot about this. So this right here. So my Mazda B2300, 95 model, got the, fortunately I'm rocking Ford rims on there, weirdly enough. I don't know if I got Ford rims on my Mazda, even though the same thing as Ranger, but yeah, I like my Mazda. So I just did that because the factories were 14s. I switched out to some 15s. I had those 15s later on. But these are some 98 and up Mazda rims that fit the older style hubcap, so I can keep the older Mazda logo on the newer Mazda rims. So these are 15s as well. Pretty much just same thing as what I'm already running. Just a lot cleaner style alloys with the machined alloy face with the pockets. I am probably going to end up painting these because you can't really see it on the camera. Actually, you can see it a little bit if I go right there. You can see it's got some deep gouges right here and such. But, that's about how it goes. I mean, I got rim marks on me now. I gotta go to school on this tomorrow. Yep. But, I think that's it. So, thank you for tuning in to Rebuilt Racing. This is Into the Garage episode 1. Behind the scenes project. My bad, I have my feet up against it. So, thank you for tuning in to Rebuilt Racing. This is Into the Garage episode 1. a little behind the scenes on our projects, project updates such as that. Y'all have a good day. Peace out.